How's it going, guys? Welcome to another episode of A Track Haul Quest, and I want to start off by saying Happy New Year 2022 to everybody out there in YouTube land, and it's supposed to be a good year, double the prosperity, right? So as you can see behind me, we got Dusty back in the garage, and it took a little while, you know, due to the holidays and all that, but finally, you know, we gave him a good wash, brought him into the garage. I used Meguiar's wash and wax soap, and always washing by hand, so we're able to get into, you know, all the nooks and crannies, and it gives you a closer inspection of, you know, your body work. So you always tend to find new little dents or scratches here and there, but it is what it is. He is a off-road dedicated rig, but I try to maintain the paint as best I can. This is a 20-year-old paint job, and it looks pretty good. It looks pretty decent for its age. So I did want to point out, you know, this is a classic. This is an 80 series classic vehicle. So I want to try to maintain the truck as best as I can. And I cut the clear coat a couple times already with one of these orbital buffers. And this is a medium. This is a foam pad for cutting. It's a medium cutting pad. And I think I won't be doing that anymore, just because the clear coat's getting kind of thin, and I don't want to take the chance of burning through the clear coat. So I mean, it looks good just the way it is, and I'll just continue using the Scratch X by Meguiar's. Yesterday we got into waxing. I'm not sure if this is a wax or not, but it's a buffing compound, and it's made by Meguiar's. It's called Scratch X Fine Scratch and Blemish Remover. So I tend to work one panel at a time. So I will work in this area. So I gave each panel 2 coats of this stuff. You know, went in by hand, removed it by hand, and just worked all the way around the truck. Mostly around the sides, you know, driver's side, passenger side. And after that, I went and actually sealed the paint with this Meguiar's product, and this is a professional detailer product you can buy online, and it's part number D156. This stuff is amazing. That'll seal everything up. It'll actually protect the paint, it'll protect rubber, it'll protect all the moldings around the windows, weather stripping. It's actually great for glass. It gives it a nice coating around the glass, and it makes it easier on the next wash when you get back from wheeling. I finally got the wrench. It finally came in, and I bought this wrench online. It's a 15-inch crescent wrench shaped into a pipe wrench, which is a pretty neat idea. It's got smooth jaws, top and bottom. It opens up to about 3.5 inches wide, so it's plenty for that 1.25 inch jam nut that go on the Johnny joints for the lower control arms. So this will be actually in the truck with me at all times out in the field. I think it's a pretty neat idea, and yeah, it's pretty sweet. Stoked about that. So I do have a list of items I need to take care of on Dusty before we head on back out. And I do have a rough idle issue. Misfire, if you want to call it that. I think I got a little bit of water in the distributor cap. So it's been idling rough ever since I did that first river crossing. The first river crossing adjacent to the second bridge is pretty deep. It's about over 3 feet deep. And so the fan was kicking up a bunch of, it's a belt-driven fan, it's on a clutch, so it was kicking up a bunch of water in the engine compartment. So some of the connectors must have got wet. But we are going to go through the distributor. I ended up purchasing a brand new distributor cap with a rotor. So we're going to be doing that today. And we're going to address all the spark plug cables with dielectric grease, and I'm thinking about going through all the connectors as well. I have the stuff I like to use It's made by DeoxIt, and this is more or less a contact cleaner for all your connectors. It could be used for automotive or whatever you want to use it for, but it dissolves any corrosion, oxidation on contact. So, and it actually give it a nice coat and protect contacts. So we're gonna probably go through most of those connectors with some of this stuff here. Okay guys, so we're gonna get into messing around with the distributor cap. So let's see what we find. Alright guys, so here's our distributor cap, and we got new cables already pre-installed. These are under 1,000 miles. These are Toyota genuine cables. So we're gonna undo this connector here if we can. Alright, and we're gonna move this wire out of the way here. Oh my god, really? Freaking Butterfingers. Where did that socket go? Dude. It's always something, guys. Got it. And this has 3 bolts holding this cap on. You have to kind of just maneuver around some of these wires. And the hard one to get is the one below. Yeah, these screws, they remain with the cap. So don't try to pull those off because they will not come off. See here. I don't know if you guys can see that. From the looks of it, it looks like we did have water, residual dirt left over with looks like water droplets. So this was at one point covered in water. So that's probably what gave us the rough idle. And this is one thing I have not replaced. Here's your rotor. We're going to clean that out just a bit here. We're going to clean some of that dust out of there. Guys, so we have some dielectric grease we'll be using. I'll also be using some of this DeoxIt. And here's our new distributor cap. And these are numbered per cylinder. So the center contact point here makes contact with the flat surface on your rotor, which transfers the ignition onto the 6 posts as it travels around. Alright guys, so we're gonna have to end up reusing our seal here. I don't have one, and they never include it with the new cap. This is a separate purchase item, so I'm gonna have to end up buying a few of these. This can only go in one way, as you can see. This cap is actually in good shape, so we're going to end up keeping this as a spare. That will be number 1. So snaps in place like that. Plugs look pretty good. I don't see any corrosion. These electrodes look nice and clean. No oxidation. Want all the wires to be nice and neat. Let's see. And that looks proper right there. Alright, so now we have our last one here. It's the short one. And this is from the ignition coil. So we'll be doing the same thing to this one. Give it an inspection. Make sure nothing's fried or burnt. The boot looks good, it's not cracked. Electrode looks good. Frayed and bad wires, cables will give you a bunch of different issues. Bubble tight should be good enough, guys. There you go. We're going to apply some of this DeoxIt in here in these contacts. We're going to go ahead and apply a little bit of dielectric grease around this perimeter along this connector here. And we could try to get it in here. A little bit of grease in here. Okay, there we have it. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and start the truck. Truck is definitely running smoother now. There was definitely water in the distributor cap, which was causing the misfire. Dusty's idling right around 950. Engine temperature is right around 138 degrees. So it's not fully warmed up. We're gonna wait till it warms up. I installed these AEM gauges a while back. And this is an OBD1 truck. It's a 94. So I'm not able to run the scan gauge like most of you guys do up here, because there's no way to plug it in. The OBD1 port is actually in the engine bay. So I decided to go this route. I did want to read my water temperature in a digital readout. So I bought this gauge here to read my water temperature, and this one up here reads my transmission temperature. And I bought one of these gauge pods. I believe this one here was made for a Toyota, not a Toyota, but a Acura Integra from 94 to 01, and I modified it just a bit so it'll fit on this A-pillar post here. Alright guys, so that pretty much does it. And Dusty is looking good. He sounds good. He feels good. It's not shaking like it did before. There was no indications of water getting into the electrode on the spark plug cable. Dielectric grease is actually pretty good because it seals the rubber against the plastic. So, alright guys, so we are pretty much done. We got 2 things off the list. It's a pretty long list. So the body's looking great, super shiny. It's got a wet look, you know. It looks good. It looks really good. I'm super stoked about that. Second, we addressed the rough idle. It was definitely water intrusion into the distributor cap and rotor. So we took care of that. Spark plug cables look good. The electrode ends on the spark plug cables looked phenomenal. And everything checked out fine. We did see indications of water getting into the cap. There was residual left over, and so that was a strong indicator. He's running good. He's running smooth. And so stay tuned for the next video on the next repair item we got coming on. And like I said, I'm still waiting on parts, so hopefully those trickle in as we're getting closer to getting back out on the road. So thank you guys for watching.